Hello everyone, let me wave back at you. Thank you so much for being here today. My name is Luciana Barbiero. I am the Academic and Career Advisor at Approach. And today we are here for you to talk about college. And our Instagram Live today is very special because we have a special guest. We have one of our international students at Approach and student ambassador Pedro Martinez. And Pedro will be joining our Instagram Live in a few minutes. But before Pedro joins our Instagram Live, let me tell you a little bit about this service that Approach offers to all of our students for free. So this is college advising. If you are an international student here in the United States and you are our student already, you have the benefit of scheduling a session and you don't have to go through the application process by yourself. You can always come to me and I will be happy to walk you through the application process, and we can talk about scholarships, about work opportunities for international students, how much it actually costs to study in a US college or university. And again, these services are offered for free to all of our students. So do make sure you send us an email if you're interested. And if you're not our student yet, if you're watching us from abroad, I'm going to tell you that the first step before you start studying in an American college or university is to learn English, right? Because if you're attending a college here in the US, you need to be speaking English and be fluent, right? So Approach is here for you. And again, if you're interested in studying here at Approach with us, make sure you send an email to admissions@approachusa.com. And that's what I had to tell you for our students and for our maybe future students that are watching us from different countries around the world. And I will be inviting one of our students again. Pedro Martinez has been studying with us. I believe he started studying with us last year, so probably around a year ago that he started studying with us. Pedro will be sharing a little bit about his how he learned English. He will be sharing some English tips with you guys that are interested in learning more English, and then he will be talking about the process of applying to a US college or university, because Pedro will be transferring very soon to one of our partner colleges. So let me see if Pedro is here. Let's find Pedro. Pedro, can I ask you to send me a hello so I can find you and invite you? But let me see up here. I don't think Pedro is live. Oh, there he is. Let's see. Pedro Martinez. Go live with Pedro. Wonderful.
Hi,
Hi,
Luciana.
Pedro.
Hi, Luciana. Hi,
How
everyone.
are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I was just telling our students a little bit about what we will be talking about today. I was saying that you've been studying with us for about a year?
Yeah.
Around, right?
Yeah, I've been at Approach for a year and 2 months so far.
What? So before we jump into that, Pedro, can you introduce yourself, your name, what country you're from?
Yeah, sure. Well, my name is Pedro Martinez. I'm from Venezuela. As I told you, I've been at Approach for 1 year. I started in B2 Plus last year. Then you guys leveled me up to C1. Then you change a little bit the scale of the levels. And right now I'm an AAP, Advanced Academic Programs #2. Yep, pretty much.
Awesome. So Pedro, how was the process of improving your English over this past year, I would say? Are there any specific tips that you can share with whoever is watching us to improve and, give their English a boost?
Well, I think a piece of advice very effective is to set everything that is surrounding you in English. It's the first thing I did 2 years ago when I came to the US. I mean, I even talked to my roommates that who spoke Spanish, of course, and I told them, look, we gotta talk in English because why? Because I mean, we know Spanish already, so we gotta take advantage of we are in English speaker country, so we gotta speak as much as possible. Another thing is what I told you to set everything in English. For example, my phone. If I wanted to watch a series or a movie, to set the subtitles in English. So probably in the beginning it's gonna be a little challenging because they speak very fast and probably you don't have the level enough for it, but you're gonna catch some words little by little. So until right now that I can watch any movie or any series without any subtitles, sometimes that I need it, but it comes a little more natural.
Nice, nice. Yeah, and I do want to share that I was an international student myself a few years ago. And I remember when I first arrived to the United States, I also used a lot of movies. And to me, what I used to do a lot is that I would rewatch movies that, maybe I had watched in my first language, and then I would rewatch it. And sometimes I would write down the new word and the new sentence that I saw in the movie and try to come up with new sentences based on that word too. So that's something that really helped me as an international student. And I do think that if you love movies, right, this is a great way
Exactly.
to
Exactly.
improve your English.
Now that you mention it, it's very good. Even the kids movie, for example, some Disney movie or something like
Yeah,
that, they speak very, very fluently, very clear. So the level probably is not that high, or probably you're not gonna feel it that challenging. But that's the way you gotta start from, you know,
yeah.
because they are meant for kids. So
Hmm.
it's a good way to start.
Yeah, for sure. And I think you also mentioned about talking to people as much as you can, right?
Yeah, totally,
In
totally.
English.
Yeah, I know for sure right now we are totally isolated in our homes, but take advantage of the technology. Why? Because when I could do it 2 years ago when I was starting this process. I used to go to Starbucks. I used to go to any single place, uh, even asking for a coffee, even asking for a brand of I don't know a bread I wanted to buy. This kind of stuff at the beginning in the beginning for it was very difficult. Why? Because the Chinese is gonna be a barrier for us.
Hmm.
Um, but right now we gotta take advantage of the technology. For example, this, but we can FaceTime even our classmates, and
Yeah.
even if there is a common language. For example, if we speak Spanish, I'm gonna call my friend who speaks Spanish. Please, can we talk or can we speak English? Even these little things, you know,
Nice.
to talk about the assignment, to talk about what it was, or what the teacher said in the morning, or something like that. Tell me in Spanish, or say it sorry, say it in English,
In
or
English.
why? Yeah, in English. Why? Because we know our mother language already, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I think you gave a great example because now we're all isolated in our own homes, right? Because of what's happening in the United States. So definitely, this is a great time to call your classmates to practice English because if you're at home, you probably have a lot more time too because you're not going out, right? So why
Exactly.
not take advantage of that and keep speaking English and keep it helps you with your mental state as well too.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, nice, Pedro. And uh, I'm sure that whoever is watching us is kind of like waiting to hear a little bit about your experience through applying to a U.S. college or university. And I mentioned to them before that you got accepted to Merrimack College, and you will
Mhm.
be soon studying with them. But I'm curious to hear a little bit about when did that start? When did you have the spark of, oh, maybe I can go to a U.S. college or university? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, I gotta be honest. First of all, I gotta be honest because in the beginning, it wasn't my first option. Why? For two main factors. The first factor was my level of English. I didn't believe that I could take like an advanced program, like a master degree, in another language different from mine.
Right.
So, and the second important factor was the economic part. Why?
Hmm.
Because I thought, okay, I don't have the money enough to pay this program, as well as we got the assumption back home that studying in the US or studying abroad is very expensive,
Right.
which definitely is. I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
But we don't know all the good part or the benefit we have. Why? Because we're totally naive, right? We were not very advised. We're alone. Our parents are back home, and you started once you're here, you feel independent, and back you don't wanna go back to, okay, mom, help me to study again or something like
Right.
that. So it's totally understandable, I will say. But my mindset totally changed after I started Approach. Approach is my third school I've been in the US.
Hmm.
So this one was the one, this one is the one I've been the
The
longest.
longest.
Yeah. The first month, just the first month I've been at Approach, um, you guys promoted like a whole week conference. I don't know how you
Yeah.
call it, like like a college fair or something like that.
There was an international student conference, and
Mm-hmm.
within the conference, there was a college fair. Yeah.
Like, exactly. That you guys change the class. We gotta be at the classroom in order to have the present or the present in the list. However, you're gonna decide, or you have to decide different colleges that you were interested in, or different programs that you were interested in. So at that specific time, I realized, okay, this college, I heard about it, but I cannot afford it. Why? Because they came with programs, name of the program, some benefit that the programs provided, as well as the tuition.
Hmm.
So the tuition for pre-graduate or undergraduate and postgraduate. So then I found not a specific Merrimack, the college I'm going to. I found New England Institute,
Hmm.
which is another partner you guys have.
Yeah.
So I talked to the person in charge or the person who came to the school, and he advised me with some step that I need to follow. One of the thing that I didn't like a little bit about that college was that it was in New Hampshire, I think. So no, it's
Rhode
kind of
Island. Yeah.
far at Rhode Island. Yeah, it was a little far from home, for I was leaving. So
Hmm.
I decided to change. But I got with that in my mind. Okay, well, look, they're giving us a scholarship. Okay, for international student scholarship, something that I never thought before. Why? Because usually you hear that the scholarship or the student loans are going to citizens, not for international students. It's
Yeah.
something that I didn't know. So, okay, I can apply for a scholarship, a partial scholarship. If I want, I got good grades back home, they can give me more scholarship. Okay, at that moment was totally the first step. I didn't get deeper until I met you. Why? Because I remember you came to me because I had a question. I talked to you. You told me, and the person in charge of this department, you can come to my office. You can stop by, and I can give you a little more information, a little deeper information. And you asked me to fill the three colleges that I was most interested in, the program, and my more or less budget. Mm, so after after 3 days, you contacted me directly by email. You told me, you know what, I got this, this, and this, and you put me in contact with the admission person of each college. And at that time, you told me we don't consider this college as a partner right now. Why? Because you at the moment you were starting to talk to them, and you introduced me Merrimack College. This college had the program I was interested in, and they also provide a scholarship for international students.
Yeah.
Something that I took a lot advantage of was the process, the direct process we have if we study our approach and we're going to a college with that you have a partnership with. Why? Because we don't have to take the TOEFL test. I told
Yeah.
you I wanted to take it, but you told me you don't have to if you are going to this college. Well, actually, I haven't taken it yet. I already accepted. I'm just waiting for college to start to go there, and I haven't taken the TOEFL, which is a very stressful step that we have to take as international students. So that's pretty much my process. Then, when I got in contact with the admission girl, which name is Allston, I think. She told me that you were almost managing a class, a small class for a student from Approach to come to the campus. So I thought, okay, it's a good opportunity. Why? Because I'm gonna be able to be on campus. In campus, I can see if I like it or not. I'm gonna see how far the college is from my place, and also I'm gonna be part of a classroom where I'm gonna be talking with people with high level of English. So I'm gonna make sure that all are gonna feel a little more secure of my English level. Because believe me, at that moment was in August or September. I mean, I didn't feel that confident, you know.
Yeah.
So in this, we went to the class. My mindset totally changed again. Why? Because I felt very comfortable with my level. Why? Because I could understand the teacher, the professor, pretty much everything. Even though I didn't take classes before with him, because it wasn't his first class. It was like in the middle of the program,
Right.
and
So
I didn't.
So it was a class that was happening to students at the college, and then you just
Exactly.
joined as you were going, right?
Exactly. Even though I didn't know what they were talking about 2 days ago or last week, I could understand everything in that class. So I could keep up with the class.
That must have been an amazing feeling of, wow, my English is good.
Yeah, and also the teacher wasn't an American. I mean, he was from Iran, I think, where Bonnie is from.
Yeah.
And you know that is another challenge that we gotta take. Why? Because it's not just get used to the Boston accent or the American accent. We gotta we gotta get used to different accents. Because you never know who you're gonna talk to, right?
Yeah.
What else? And then I told you, you know what? After taking this class, I think I'm ready. I applied the following month, I believe, and I got accepted right away.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And just so you guys that are watching, you understand a little bit about how much easier it makes to transfer to one of our partners. Approach currently has about 13 different partners in the New England area. So Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Hampshire. And just Pedro's a perfect example of how we do our advising. And as Pedro mentioned, last year in March, we hosted our first international student conference, and it was really cool to have a college fair in it too. In case you guys joined later, just want to kind of like mention what he was talking. So we had the international student conference, and then with all of these partners, as Pedro mentioned, he explored New England Institute of Technology, which is one of the colleges that offered the program that he was looking for, and then Merrimack College as well, right? And then again, what's very cool is that if you're transferring to a college that is one of our partners and your English is at a high level, you can transfer without the TOEFL requirement, which is exactly what Pedro did. So if you're watching us from a different country, anytime that you're transferring to an American college here, they will require that you have the TOEFL. But if you're transferring to a college that is our partner, and as long as your English is at a high level, you will not be, you won't need to take the TOEFL, which can save, a lot of time and stress.
And extra money as well.
What is it?
And extra money, because taking the TOEFL is not free.
Exactly.
I mean, you also gotta pay a fee.
Yes, exactly. So you're saving time, money, no stress.
Less stress in this process, in this long process.
Yeah, exactly, because it is a long process. And Pedro, when you started, I think we started talking about probably May last year, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And I think, guys, as Pedro mentioned, sometimes what everybody says is that, oh my God, studying in a U.S. college or university is super expensive. You will never be able to do it. There are no scholarships for international students. And there are a lot of myths that people say, right? But then it's on you to, okay, I'm going to believe on what people are saying, or let me look for information and be informed about this. Because then after you understand how much it costs, what's the scholarships, what's everything, once you have the information, then you can make an informed decision, right? But before you have the information, please don't just trust what people around you are saying. Come to the right source. And if you are an approach student, come and talk to me. This is a service that is offered to our students for free, guys. So make sure you use that. And now that we're here, we're all working from home. I just sent out an email to all of our students yesterday from the higher levels. So if you want to schedule an online appointment with me, I'll be happy to talk to you guys, just as I talked to Pedro. And it does make the process a lot easier. Pedro, I thought it was very interesting that you had the chance to sit and watch a class. Actually, right?
Yeah. Actually, it was very helpful. Something that we didn't mention was the way you're gonna pay this tuition.
Right.
Probably because at first we think that we gotta pay the whole tuition before even it started, and it's totally wrong. That was the way I thought before. That's the way that I thought before. Why? Because is what our countries informs. Why? Because sometimes we gotta submit a lot of paperwork, and they tell us my specific country was like that, or used to be like that, but we gotta submit a lot of papers, and then we gotta pay in advance to the government, and the government issue all the paper with the university. But being here is totally different. Why? Because once you have the F1 status, or if you are a student already, you don't have to show all the money at once. And also you can start paying by month or something like that, like you are paying your rent, for example. Yeah,
that's a great point, Pedro. And also something that, when you need to show how much money you have in the bank for yours, you can have not only, let's say you don't have all the money that the college is asking to prove that you have enough funds to support yourself here in the US, you can have a sponsor.
Yeah,
but
sure.
Let's say that I don't have enough money. Combined with my sponsor, I still don't have enough money. I can still, let's say, okay, me, my mom, and then my uncle, okay? And then I can have my mom as a sponsor and my uncle as a sponsor too.
Yeah,
and maybe
for sure.
my grandma, you know?
Yeah, for
So
sure.
you can have more than one sponsor to put all that money together, because I know it can be a lot of money to prove, right? But it's
Totally.
good for you to keep those things in mind.
Well, I wanna add something to that. Why? Because specifically in Merrimack, when I had to submit my bank statement, uh,
Hmm.
as you said, I didn't have the money enough. I had that sponsor. So, and also, as soon as you, or as soon as I submitted my application, they told me that I had approved one $5,000 scholarship.
Oh,
So
wow.
I could count that $5,000 scholarship less in my tuition. I told them, look, I have this much money. Okay, do you think I can like put this amount less the $5,000 or counting the $5,000? Yeah, absolutely, you can do it because it's money that you already have saved. It's already yours. Of course, it's you're not gonna handle the money, but it's gonna be you're gonna see it in your tuition every month. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's so interesting that you pointed that out, because another myth that a lot of international students have in their minds is that there are no scholarships available for international students, and that is not true, right? Um, as Pedro just mentioned, he got a $5,000 scholarship, and Pedro, I think we didn't mention what kind of program you're going to be pursuing at Merrimack.
No, we haven't. Is The program is called Engineering Management. So I chose this program. I mean, because since I'm a petrol engineer, I wanted to keep the path of engineering, but trying a little bit opening my or expanding my opportunities. So
Mm-hmm.
this program, I mean, you introduced me this program. Why? Because I was looking for a program with CPT and OPT, and this program was valid, or it was in the STEAM program, but
Mm-hmm.
something that I didn't know before until you told me. If you want to explain to them what the STEAM program is.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't know about the STEAM program.
Yes. So for the STEM programs, what I wanted to mention is that, for example, if the program that you're looking for is from science, technology, engineering, or math program, so STEM, science, technology, engineering programs, there's a benefit that is really cool, that after you graduate a program, you can get a 24-month extension during your OPT year. But let me go back a little bit so you understand what I'm talking about. OPT is optional practical training, and the OPT is a work opportunity that international students get after they complete their program. So let's use Pedro as an example. Pedro is pursuing his graduate program in engineering management, right? So what happens is that after he completes his master's degree in 2 years, he will be able to get 1 year of OPT, which is a work authorization for international students. Now, let's say that best case scenario, Pedro starts working for a company, and the company loves Pedro, and Pedro loves the company, right? The
Hopefully.
company can ask Pedro, or Pedro can, they can have a deal that they will extend for 24 more months of a work opportunity. So what would happen is that Pedro would be able to get 3 years of work authorization as an international student. And this is very cool because, as you guys know, international students, when you're studying in an English language school, you're not allowed to work, right? But when you transition to a college setting, there is a world of opportunities that open up, because not only you can get that academic experience, but you can also go ahead and get some professional experience. So that's what, and the program that Pedro will pursue now in September is a STEM program.
Exactly. Good information because a lot of people don't know about that. I mean, some people are, well, I didn't know about that, and I had my bachelor degree in engineering.
Mm-hmm.
So until you told me, no, you gotta take advantage of your program. I wanted to start a program, or I wanted to do a program in project management, and you told me, well, you don't choose this. Is something related to engineering, so you gotta take advantage of the STEM program, and you introduced me this part. Like we said before, we are there are a lot of misinformation or
Yeah.
misconception about the topic. And if you don't know about it, we're totally blind, right? We're walking totally blind.
Yeah, exactly. So, and just if you guys join a little bit later, in terms of, I do wanted to emphasize a little bit more about in terms of payment that we talked a little bit about that before. In the beginning you think this is too much money, I'm not going to be able to make it, but first access the situation, right? How much money does it actually cost? And then keep in mind, as Pedro mentioned, you don't have to pay everything at once. Colleges have payment plans. Most of the colleges offer payment plans. Merrimack, for example, you can divide payments in a semester by 6. So you don't have to pay everything at once. You can pay per month. Plus, as Pedro mentioned, he got a $5,000 scholarship. And this is amazing. And Pedro is an international student. Guys, if you are an international student, there is a chance for you. Don't just hear what other people are saying, that there's no scholarships, no this, no that. Just come to the right source of information.
Yeah,
And then besides,
and using the word that is impossible. No, you cannot do it. It's very difficult. It's impossible. Don't let those bad or negative comments affect you.
yeah, exactly. Because there aren't many people that maybe they are very informed of the situation, right? But luckily you are all watching here, and you see that Pedro is a current student and is about to transfer to Merrimack College. Again, going back to the payment part, because it's so important. So many people, that's kind of like the barrier that people put. I do want to mention too that keep in mind that if the program that you're pursuing is a STEM related program, a science, technology, engineering, or math, after you complete your graduate program, you get 3 years of work authorization. So that means that probably the money that you invested in yourself and in your education, you will be able to, kind of like help you pay back. So this is all things that you have to, keep in mind when you're doing that. Pedro, I do wanted to mention something too that maybe it's not your case right now, but a lot of students don't know about assistantships and fellowships. And assistantships and fellowships are pretty much work opportunities for international students to work directly with a college professor that is developing some sort of research, or maybe in the admissions as a graduate assistant. Sometimes colleges have partnerships with different companies that is developing research with them. So as international students, when you're studying in a college setting, you are allowed to work for up to 20 hours per week, as long as the college authorizes you to do that. So you can take advantage of these assistantships and fellowships. And by saying that, I do want to mention that if you do get accepted to an assistantship or fellowship, depending on the college and in the program, sometimes they offer you a 50% tuition discount. Sometimes they even offer you 100% tuition discount plus a stipend. And I know that one of our students that is watching us here, she is currently in the process of doing that, and I'm so proud of seeing you guys, our students, to taking the next step. I know that when you're applying to a college, when you're taking this big step, it can be very scary, and you can be, a lot of times you're discouraged by people around you, right? As Pedro was mentioning. But keep strong and talk to the people that know the source. So talk to students like Pedro that are transitioning to a college setting. A lot of times when I'm doing advising with students, I also connect for our students to former approach students who are currently studying at the college. So you, as an approach student, can talk directly to someone that went through the whole process of applying, just like Pedro. And I will probably be connecting a lot of students to Pedro when he's studying at Merrimack.
For sure.
so you guys can hear about the experience, because guys, it's not impossible. You can do it, but you need to start as soon as possible planning. Not
Yeah, for sure.
don't just hear what other people are saying, but come to me. Or if you're not our student yet and you're in your home country, the internet is an amazing resource now, right? So you can find a lot of information out there.
Yeah. You said something important. It's something that I did, work in advance, work with time. Why? Because, for example, at Approach, or I think at every single school, the highest level is probably 1 year. After you pass or after you finish that program, you cannot study twice that program. You gotta move to another school or something like that. So when I started the C1 level, which is the highest level at Approach, I started in April and I contacted you in May. So we started talking in May about my progress, and I'm transferring in September. So I got plenty of time, and I decided to submit my application in December. Why? Because I
Mhm.
wanted to know if I was able to get the scholarship or not.
Yeah.
So in order to work with time. Why? Because if you're gonna do or you're gonna start the process with 2 months of like 2 months before that you're gonna finish that program, you gotta submit a lot of paperwork.
Yeah.
You don't have your grades or your bachelor degree translator. Thank God I had it before from home, so I could save some money. I could
Hmm.
save some time, but some people don't have it, and all those process or those steps that you gotta do takes time. So it
Right.
takes time. So if you're gonna do it with 1, 2 months.
Let's see what happened. Can you guys still hear us? I think Pedro's frozen on my screen. Until hopefully Pedro's gonna be back. Oh no, I think his internet connection. Hold on, let me see if I can get Pedro back. Hold on, guys. Go live with Pedro. He's coming back. Oh, sorry, Pedro. I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened. I think it was my phone. Can you hear me?
Yes. So you were talking about planning ahead, right?
Yeah, totally. I mean, this kind of process is a long process. It's not easy, but if you start with some time, or if you do it correctly, being advised, you can do it. I mean, as I've been doing it with you or with Approach as well, with Merrimack, I'm gonna tell a personal experience I had right now in the middle of this process, that basically Approach contact Merrimack, and Merrimack told Approach that I was talking to them, or I was doing my process since so long. So Approach, or I think it was Michelle, because Michelle said it last night in a meeting we had,
Mm-hmm.
that was a special case that they Approach let me transfer to Merrimack without finishing my 3 months term. Why this is? I think I'm very grateful because of that. Why? Because it's saving me some time, and
Mm-hmm.
also it giving me a little more free time, and also
Yeah.
it's saving me some money because I don't have to pay the 2 month being at Approach. I mean, those kind of things, when you have it or you do it with time, even the college can support you and the school can support you. So
Yeah.
it was a personal experience I had 2 weeks ago, and I thought, okay, I'm not gonna make it, and suddenly I got an email from Michelle saying that I was able to.
Yeah, for sure. And you're absolutely right. The earlier you start planning, because if you are at Approach, there's a contract, and there's all this other part that you have to make sure you're good, good academic standing, and you're good to transfer. So that's great that you started this process so much, like last year, right, Pedro? Um, and besides everything that you were saying too, as I was thinking that I think knowing that you're transferring to a US college or university also can keep you motivated, right? Because sometimes if you're not really sure about what you will do, sometimes you can get, you know, you lose your motivation sometimes, you know, and then, okay, you have friends from your home country and you want to speak your own language, and then you end up forgetting to speak English. But when you have your goal and you know that, okay, in 1 year, in 6 months, I will transfer to a college. Now, let me focus on my studies and speak English 100% of the time. And I know that you do that a lot. In case you guys don't know, Pedro is one of our student ambassadors, and he's one of the best students out of Approach. We have about 40 student ambassadors this term, and these are all students that are fantastic students. And Pedro is one of them, and it's very cool to see that, you know, this transition from students who are working really hard in learning English, transitioning to a college setting, because when you give your best to really learn the language, probably you will have a smoother, you know, transition when you are in college. So study as hard as you can, and make sure you know your goal. Oops, I think my battery's low. We've been talking a lot, Pedro.
Yeah, I can tell. I can tell. My phone was having problems as well. Well, as you said, I think to give a last piece of advice, I will say, be focused. I mean, as you said, trying to like draw a north or a path. Why? Because it's gonna keep you focused on your main goal. You know,
Yes,
if you don't have it, you are like walking without direction. You know what I mean?
exactly.
My goal was last year. No, I want to transfer to a college, or I want to do something big in my field or in my career. Why don't you start this process, or when you don't get some information from people that know about that, and you know, little by little I've done it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I see that one of our students, Priscilla, I think she just mentioned again that keep in mind that if you are our students and you completed your ESL program here, you can transfer to one of our partner colleges without the TOEFL, right?
Yeah, it's true. I don't know if you're talking about her, that she's trying to do the TA, that advising or something like that at Mass U.
Yeah,
She's
I
there.
was talking about her. Yeah.
No, I wanted to say something about her birthday was on Monday, and I told her,
Oh,
since I'm a man of word, I told her I'm gonna wish you happy birthday in this life, and I'm doing it.
nice.
It was on Monday, but she's so nice that she deserved it.
Happy birthday, Priscilla! Yes, guys. So I was actually talking about Priscilla, and it's very cool that she's also applying to a college, and she will be transferring very, very soon with hopefully a really, really, really good scholarship.
For
So
sure.
our students
I do
are
believe her.
amazing, and I must say that not only me but my whole team, you know, Approach is so proud to see students like you, Pedro. Priscilla, I know you are on our live. She said, "Yeah, you did it." So it's very cool to see that our students are transitioning and are making the right choice. You know, it's amazing that, think about this: if you're returning to your home country after you complete your program, you are probably going to be making so much more money, right? And you're having a degree from the United States, which is amazing. Hopefully you get some professional experience. Maybe you get some research experience, like probably Priscilla will be doing in college soon. So guys, you can do it, but you gotta start planning as soon as possible. And we are here for you. We're here to support you in anything that you need. Pedro's here.
Yeah,
Probably we're
for
gonna be
sure.
connecting a lot of students to
I think right
Pedro.
now, we have plenty of time to get as much information as we want. We're at home. We got internet connection. I mean,
Yeah,
we have you the time you were off to, to plan everything and to put us like in front of the website of university, even with the admission department. It's very
Absolutely.
helpful.
Now, I mean, now is the time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so for those of you, remember, if you're approach students, you got an email from me, all for A, for B, AP1, AP2, TOEFL students got an email from me last night saying that you can schedule an appointment with me, and please do, right? We've got lots of free time here right now. Let's plan your future, because if there's, this is the perfect time to do that. Pedro, thank you so much for being here with us today.
No
It was such
worries.
a
Thank you for
pleasure.
inviting me, by the way.
What is it?
Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, yes. It was such a pleasure to have you here. And it's so wonderful to hear other students' stories. So you guys are so lucky to be listening to Pedro's stories. We hope that, it inspired you to take the next step, or to start thinking about the future, and maybe open your minds a little bit to future possibilities and opportunities that you can have.
Yeah. As I said, take advantage of the time, take advantage of Luciana. Why? Because she's there for to help us anytime. Well, thank you, Luciana. Thank you, everyone who's watching.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
See ya.
Bye. Have a
Bye.
nice day.